Mr. Timon, I want to talk to you about an issue I think is important. In your testimony, you discussed AASHTO's core policy principles, including the increase in flexibility, reduction of program burdens, and improvements of project delivery. I think we all would agree on the importance of that. My question relates to the assignment of NEPA authorities to states, which is a really important program, certainly important for Alaska, and supports your core principles. The FHWA has been inserting language into the MOUs between states that would allow them to withdraw NEPA authorities from states upon a, quote, civil rights allegation. Now, there's no statutory authority whatsoever. I'm going to meet with the nominee to be the next director of the FHWA. He had a hearing here last week. I'm going to meet with him this afternoon and talk about this. Or, more broadly, if they determine that a project doesn't fit, quote, environmental justice goals. Okay? These are really broad mandates, again, not statutory at all, not to minimize the seriousness of civil rights violations. I've been making a strong argument that the Biden administration actually proactively discriminates against Alaska Native people, indigenous people in my state, but that's a whole nother topic. But this certainly, from my perspective, looks for provides potential for abuse of discretion by the federal government when the whole purpose of what we're trying to do here is provide more flexibility to the states and to be able to get a more streamlined permitting process that is state-focused. It's my understanding from reviewing comments from FHWA that they've already strong-armed Florida and Utah into accepting this language into MOUs. Can you comment on the potential impact of this MOU language change on transportation projects, delays it might cause, and really abuse of discretion? Look, we don't want civil rights violations. We're all against that. But to try to insert it into NEPA authorities for states, to me, is a real broad abuse of discretion, and I would be very interested in your views.
Well, thank you, Senator. First, let me say that this program in particular, I have a specific interest in. I spent 12 years on the House Transportation Committee, part of that working for Chairman Don Young.
I know.
Where this program...
We miss them every day.
Yes. This program originated really from language in the House, back, I believe, starting with Safety Lou, actually, first iteration of this. We've heard from many of the NEPA assignment states about their concerns with the changes in the agreement that FHWA is pushing for.
And by the way, you think FHWA has any, you know the statute, you think they have any statutory authority to do this?
Well, I think...
I don't, but I'm curious about your...
Well, I think they're trying to fix a problem that doesn't exist. We've had extensive conversations with the administration. They say that they don't see anything that's happened so far that would raise concern for them, but they want to put this in here
anyways
from a for belts and suspenders standpoint. So,
wow.
Again, I don't think this is a problem that exists that they need to fix.
Yeah.
They have been pushing hard. You mentioned several states that did accept the language. Their agreements were expiring. They had the choice of really accepting the language or essentially not having the agreement.
I know for a fact my state is very concerned about this. We have a strong record on all of these issues, but it just seems to be a broad overreach, and also it's going to do what I think every panelist in this hearing is against, which is delay the implementation of infrastructure in our states. Would you agree with that? Certainly has the potential to do that.
Sure, I would say that...
Because remember, the language is an accusation of civil rights violation. I mean, anyone can make an accusation.
Right, and when you talk to FHWA, they say they aren't going to utilize this in a way to delay projects. But I will say that states that are utilizing this this program have built up an infrastructure to be able to take on these responsibilities and the delegation of that authority. And in those states, actually, FHWA has kind of reduced their presence. So to have to reverse this trend for states that have had this agreement, it would be a really tough transition to go back to the way things were before those states enter this program.
Okay, thank you. Any other witnesses have a view on this? It's a very narrow topic, but it's a pretty important one. Again, I know my state's quite concerned about it. Anyone else?
If I may, there's also a significant issue of sovereign immunity and giving that up.
Oh, that's a good point.
With this. So that's a big part of this as well.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I think it's an important issue that we need to look at hard, particularly as we're getting ready to vote on the confirmation of the new FHWA administrator.
Good. I'm glad to hear that you're going to be meeting with him this afternoon.
Yep.
We're very much interested in moving that along, and I know you share that too.